Hi everyone, this is Josie with First the Coffee Crochet. Welcome back to my channel. In this crochet tutorial, we're going to go over how to make the Athena scarf. This is a really easy scarf to make. It's nice and lacy. It's a very forgiving pattern, so if you make mistakes, it's not going to be easily seen. It's mainly a one row repeat, except for a couple rows on each end, which are single crochets. And all you need to know on how to do this scarf is how to make a chain, slip stitch, a single crochet, a half double crochet, and a double crochet. There is no set amount of rows that you do this repeat for. You just go to the length that you want. The gauge for this using a 6mm crochet hook and the Red Heart Unforgettable yarn is 14 stitches by 9 rows of double crochet will give you a 4x4 inch swatch. To make this pattern, you're going to need a couple skeins of Red Heart Unforgettable yarn or another type of yarn that you prefer. It is a medium 4-weight yarn, but it is kind of thin and it is a roving yarn. And I did use a 6mm crochet hook. I used about 445 yards of this yarn to get a 64-inch length on the scarf. Now the color I did do this one in is teal berry. I'm out of that right now, so I am going to use the color Polo for the tutorial. And as always, there is a written pattern available on my website, and I'll leave a link for that down in the description below, and it has all the information needed for the materials and the directions. Okay, to start, we're going to chain 30. If you want to change the width of the scarf, the initial foundation chain needs to be in multiples of 4 plus 2. Once you have your foundation chain completed, row 1 is going to be single crochets all the way across the chain. We'll be starting in the second chain from your hook. So you just insert your hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over and pull through both loops on your hook. Just do that in each chain down the row. Once you've completed row 1, I'm just going to turn your work. We're going to chain 1, and then starting in this first stitch, we're just going to do single crochet again all the way across this row. Once you've completed row 2, you're just going to turn your work again. And for row 3, we're going to chain 2. And then in this first stitch, we're going to do a double crochet. So just yarn over, insert your hook into that first stitch, yarn over again, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops, and yarn over again and pull through both remaining loops on your hook. After this, we're going to chain 3. And then we're going to skip 3 stitches. And in this next stitch here, we're going to do a slip stitch. So you'll just insert your hook in, yarn over, pull through a loop, and continue to pull through the loop on your hook. Then in the same stitch, we're going to do a half double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook, yarn over and pull up a loop, and yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Then again in the same stitch, we're going to do a double crochet. So all in one stitch, we're going to have a slip stitch, half double crochet, and a double crochet. Okay, so now you're going to want to chain 3 again, skipping the next 3 stitches, and then in the 4th stitch, do another slip stitch, then a half double crochet in that same stitch, and then a double crochet. And just keep repeating this on down the row. You're going to do this 4 more times. So chain 3, skip 3, slip stitch, half double crochet, double crochet. When you have 4 stitches left in the row, you're going to chain 3, and then skip 3 stitches, and in this last stitch you're going to do a slip stitch, and then 1 half double crochet, and that'll complete the row. So for row 4, just go ahead and turn your work, and this is going to be the repeat row that we're going to be doing for the rest of the scarf, except for the last few rows once you get to your length that you want. So you're going to chain 2, and then in this first stitch here, do a double crochet, I'm going to chain 3. Now we're skipping this chain space here, and in between the half double crochet and double crochet. So we're not going into the stitch itself, we're going between the posts. You're going to do a slip stitch, and then a half double crochet, and then a double crochet. Again, that's between the 2 posts of the stitches, not in the stitch itself. So then you're just going to chain 3 again, skip the chain space between the half double crochet and double crochet, slip stitch, half double crochet, and double crochet. So repeat that 4 more times, going down the row, chain 3, skip the space between the post of the double crochet and half double crochet, do the slip stitch, half double crochet, and double crochet. And I'll meet you back here after we complete this one. After you've completed this last one, and you just have the last chain space and the end of the row, you're going to chain 3. We're skipping this chain space. In between the initial chain 2 and the double crochet, you're just going into that space, doing a slip stitch, and a half double crochet. And that'll end your row. So this is the row we're just going to keep doing this until we get to the length of the scarf we want. We'll go over it one more time. You'll just want to chain 2, and in your first stitch here, do a double crochet, chain 3, skip the chain space, and between the post of the half double crochet and double crochet, do a slip stitch, half double crochet, and a double crochet. And just repeat that in each little cluster all the way down. Then at the end of the row, you're skipping that last chain space, and in between the double crochet and the initial chain space of the previous row, you're just going to slip stitch, half double crochet, and go ahead and turn your work and do it again. Right, once you've done the repeat row to your desired length, you'll have 3 rows left to do, and they're all going to be single crochet rows. So starting on the third of the last row, we're going to chain 1, And in this first stitch here, we're going to do a single crochet. Then in the chain 3 space, we're going to do 3 single crochets. After those 3 single crochets in the next double crochet, you're going to do a single crochet. You're going to skip the half double crochet stitch and the slip stitch, and you're going to do 3 single crochets in the chain space. Then again in the double crochet, skip the half double crochet and the slip stitch, and 3 single crochets in the chain space. We're just going to keep doing this all the way across. 1 single crochet in the double crochet, 3 single crochets in the chain space. So in the last chain space, do your 3 single crochets. And then in the space between this double crochet and the initial chain of the previous row, we're just going to do a single crochet. After we complete that row, go ahead and turn your work. And now the last 2 rows are just going to be single crochet all the way across. You're going to chain 1. This doesn't count as a stitch. And in this first stitch here, I'm going to do a single crochet. Just continue that in each stitch all the way across the row. And at the end of this row, turn your work, chain 1, and do single crochet all the way across again. Once you finish that last row, you can go ahead and fasten off and weave in your ends and enjoy your new scarf.